Everything we learned in the weeks leading up to the UK Championships, we put into place, and I think there was a sense of calmness about the whole team.
This only happens once a year, so like, you know, carpe diem.
There he is. Dr. Keith. Did we leave him in Starbucks, did we?
Should we not just set it up in the corridor here somewhere?
Stay here, it's in the
The iron's horrendous.
We'll put the iron board on camera, brilliant.
It's like that, what's that movie? The Shining.
No, Charles.
Keith Ewan, I'm speak. Hello. Can you speak? Cut that, cut.
Signing for the Boghall is Cam Davidson.
Yeah.
That's my brother.
Good morning.
Going over to compete in Belfast provides other external factors. Some people are travelling over, they're flying, or some people are on the band bus heading over, you're staying in a hotel. So there's a lot of other factors that come into play as well, making sure that everyone turns up in the right frame of mind on the Friday night, going into Saturday with the right mindset and mentality. So that was one thing that was key to our success, I think.
Can you go up and get a seat?
Hey guys.
Come on!
Is it a photo or is it a video?
Yeah, my name is Glaren. I originally from Brittany in France, and now live in New York in the US. And played with the band about 10 years ago. Played for many seasons, about 7-8 years. I did 1 year in the Juvies and then Grade 1 after that. So yeah, it's my first competition back after over 10 years. So excited about it.
Cool. Try the end of the jig again. Just the key, if we draw that medley, the key bit is watch Ross like a hawk for the break through slow air.
I think even at the top end of Grade 1, learning happens all the time. We got set up wrong twice at Guruk and Dollar before we nailed it, and you know, we might get it wrong next weekend in Aberdeen. You just got to analyse every performance and every setup that you do, and find your weaknesses constantly, because the top Grade 1 bands and the top bands in any grade, it's very, very tight. You know, all the bands are chasing each other. You could come out with a totally different prize list. It is very, very small gains. You just need to be constantly on top of that,
A lot of roughness
and just
coming
looking
for
for where you can improve.
1, 2, 3, go.
I think we learned a lot from Guruk and Dollar. You're always wondering if your plans in the winter are effective, if what you're doing is actually effective and going to work. So it was good to be compared to other bands right from the start of the season, and to actually know that you're on the right tracks.
Everyone should be looking at my drum, okay? 1, 2, 3, go. Right, we're playing with the pipers at 12:30 round about here, so just stick around here for now.
Half 2 in like 5 minutes?
Just 5 minutes, yeah.
Get some water probably.
Yep.
In a circle, okay? Just a couple of starts. Give me road brusher first. Road brusher. Right. Quick. March.
guys, that feels better. It's got an edge, but we're not starting to get frantic. Yeah, down here on the first time round, it's just getting edged, okay? Up, but together.
We had a long hard think about our setup on the day. I think at both contests we played slightly too long and maybe underestimated how damp it was in the air. The pipes just both times got a little bit wet, and the drones didn't hold for us. So the key goal going into the first championship at Lurgan was to nail the setup on the day. We were confident with the chanters. It was just getting the drone behaviour, and that we knew that would give the guys the confidence to deliver a solid run.
The drones are the #1 priority of the day, above the chanters. So if you're not happy with anything, if Ross and I have been told chanters and you're tuning cold pipes, you feel like you're fighting them, just overrule us. The drones are king.
The best mindset we can be in for today, serve-wise, is that last Sunday practice we just had.
Learned loads for it. Loads of good stuff going on today. This could be absolutely magic. Guys just need to stand there, trust in the system, stand, play the pipes.
You've been absolutely joy to playing this as well.
When they're not playing the pipe, stand, keep the chanter in the sun, keep my grade.
I don't want chanters in the sun at all until we're actually competing.
And then we just suffer
Same.
it, whatever comes.
The whole 10 minutes.
We did it 3 performances at World.
I was just say same approach as at Worlds.
And a couple of guys going to go to B&M and get a couple of crates of water then.
What do you think?
I fancy a porridge, to be fair.
Alright, okay.
I'm just getting a case of water.
Where were they? In front?
Just at the door, right?
Oh, okay. Go get a wee juice first. Vodka.
Should we get a slushy machine?
Right, you're taking this way too far.
Me and him. You don't play it. Just let them come in with the right flam. Left, right, left, bang. Second part is slower again.
So going into to Lurgan, we carried out the exact same plan, which we did at Guruk and Dollar. Although another factor came into play, which we had to deal with on the day, was the weather and the heat. So that firstly affects tuning, but also affects individuals in the way that they can carry themselves on the day. So there's a couple of drummers that were feeling the heat a little bit and had to take some time out. So you're constantly learning on the spot what's the best thing to do for those individuals and for other individuals. So we maybe played a little bit less in Lurgan just because we didn't want to overdo it. Just to get myself and Callum really, I suppose, back into a mode where our systems are just razor sharp. And naturally after a winter they're not. So it took those outings, which can be a bit painful sometimes because obviously every time you go out you want to be sparkling. But the reality is it's just not like that. So those lessons, getting a chance to get out and then just get back into that mode where things are as accurate as you can get them, and me and Callum are just kind of feeding off each other a bit more. The setup, it just took a little bit to get it where we had it in Lurgan, and then that meant when we were getting ready for the UKs it was a bit more chilled.
What do we do now? Have you got travel Scrabble?
Final tuning at the UK Championships was probably the most relaxed it's been since I've been in the band. The pipes were going great, the band was playing very well, and I think I said to Ross, it's the first time that we've been standing waiting to go on rather than them waiting for us. So I think when they gave us the shout, we were already formed up and ready to go.
Mark time. Bang. Halt. Good luck at your performance. Saturday. Play 1, 2. Happy enough with that? There's nothing else in the bag. You're on your number 2 set. Number 2. Go on us.
Back! Quick! March!
We're at a stage where we're finding form and consistency, and I think it's been about how myself and Kerr and Callum approach the practices and just trying to make everything more and more systematic so that all the guys know exactly what's happening. They trust the setup, they trust the systems. It doesn't feel alien. So, you know, the length of time that we're setting up, what happens in this 15-minute window and that 15-minute window. And it's very hard to practice that, you know, unless you're working to a deadline with a clock and you know what your performance time is. So now that we've been out a few times, we're just starting to find another gear, I think, and hopefully bring in more and more calmness, so that we can control exactly the tiny little margins in tempo and shape, the way we want it, with a calm head, as much as possible, with a huge slice of adrenaline and everything that goes with competing, you know.
Ford Boghall and Bathgate, ready to jump down.
We managed to get where we wanted to be. We spoke a lot about how we built up to the Saturday through the week, and probably the weekend practice before especially. We took quite a measured approach, and that paid off. So that's very pleasing, just to put a run together. Ultimately, it felt great when we were actually in the middle of playing, and when we finished, it was quite euphoric in a way, because it just had a kind of X factor about it. And then you don't know where you're going to finish up. You know, there was a lot of good pipe sounds that day. just with the way the weather was and whatever. So you're hoping you're in the mix, but you certainly don't expect to come out on top necessarily. So it's cool.
I'll say I'm happy. Things to be improved for the next one, but solid run. We did what we came here to do.
Yeah. Brilliant. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Like, really enjoyed it.
It's so surreal, like the team that we've got is insane. I mean, the work that everyone's put in is, over the last week, is like, we've been every night practicing, but absolute class.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, when we played right before to go on, it was like, I looked at Craig Brown, who've played with him for like years, and I was like, I don't know if I've been out of the loop for so long, but this is the best I've ever played. Like, this is the best car I've ever played with. And I was like, is this like normal standard for the band? Like, you know, and he was like, no, I think this is really good. And so, you know, I think I'm not yet like in the seat and kind of enjoying it, but like I was out there and I was like, this is what I do it for, you know? Like, this is what I traveled so far, just to like have that moment, you know? So yeah, fantastic.
What did I say? Get the drones right. Get a stonker.
I'm really happy. I asked the guys to be exciting, and that second half is exciting. So done everything we can.
Everyone just felt ready for it. Everything went right for us on the day, and you know, it was just that calmness and confidence, and I do feel we took that in the park, and I think it can often be our band's Achilles heel that we can be brilliant in the tuning park and we don't quite take it on, but yeah, there was a different confidence there that we certainly didn't have at Guruk and Dollar, and I think everyone just had a feeling that everything was going to go right on the day.
Stand easy.
I've been part of Boghall for so long that it's completely part of your fibre. You know, you just want to see the band succeed, and the fact that you've got such a top team of guys around you, you're all striving to do the best you can because you're aware of how strong the team is around you, and that really keeps me driven. Just obviously to see the band have success, and it means so much to me.
How does it feel now that
How does it feel?
you've won your first championship?
It's actually a little bit surreal. I think it took probably most of the next week to properly sink in, and little bits and bobs you'd have little waves of actually it kind of hitting you, but it's taken like a full week. I mean, obviously you get the instant high of the result, but it wasn't as I expected.
You can't describe that feeling winning a major in Grade 1 for the first time. Like, not many people have done it, and to do it, especially with my sister and my uncle. I've won major championships in the kids band before. It's the first one I ever won with my sister and my uncle, and I've competed against my uncle numerous times in the kid band and won majors against him. But to win one with him, it's good. Honestly, when we were getting photos and that after outside the house, I was just on the phone to him for a good 10 minutes, just chewing the fat.
Right, Callum, how's that feel? Let's go.
I've been worse, I'd say.
Well done, Callum.
When the result was announced, it was quite surreal, to be honest. I'd heard snippets of the bands we were playing against, and I've listened back since, and I thought the standards on the day was absolutely brilliant. So it did come as a bit of a shock, I think, to everyone. We certainly didn't go in expecting to win it, but I suppose kind of deep down you knew that we were maybe a contender. The band's just been in a great place recently.
it's what we strive to do as an organisation, is to win, first and foremost, and to enjoy ourselves, and we ticked all those boxes over in Belfast. We've got to continue that, and going forward we've got to improve, we've got to learn and develop as we go, which there's many things we can continue to improve upon. But no, it means absolute world to me, winning the UK Championships.
Boghall 3, 1, 2, 3! And after, let's go.
You cried.
I wasn't crying though. The only time I went to cry was when Mum phoned me.
I cried to feel things. I feel tight.
He was a bitter man. He spoke of women's ways.
You begin with intent. That plays its job, you know. So let's keep going. Keep the thing running.
How does that feel?
Amazing. It's been 11 long years since we last won a trophy, last won a major. So taste of that again. We've won loads of trophies. Take two.
Just really stoked at the result that we got. That is absolutely amazing. Especially the first major with the band. It's a phenomenal result. You couldn't ask for more.
What's the next one?
On to the next one. Let's do it again.
Pipe Sergeant, Ross is away in the boat. Pretty good. Still got a wee level again, I feel like. Nah, feels amazing. The band's been working so hard behind the scenes. We never nailed that at Guruk and Dollar, but we came into this weekend saying we'll nail the setup. We did that today and it paid dividends.
On to the next one.
On to the next one.
The Boghall teaching system is vitally important for us growing our band.
I suppose ultimately it's the beating heart of the setup and in our band.
We take pride in our system, we take pride in the people that we put through it, we give them the same opportunities.
It's all about belief. You know, I came in and said to the guy right from the start, we need to maximise our potential.
We've got plenty of years left in us, and you know yourself. We've got the potential to do something special this year. Let's do it, eh?